talking about today? Today, we are talking about social media. Are you ready for social media? And when I say, are you ready? Were you ready for social media? Were you ready for everything that came along with being on social media? I mean, for me, um, like we're in for those who don't know, we're broadcasting from OMS, that's Ohio Media School. And for us, well, I'll speak for myself. For myself, I did not realize just much, um, how much the social media was impacting. Yeah, for uh, my Facebook people out there, I'm sorry to stop real quick, but for my Facebook people out there, I wanted to say hi to you also. This is my co-host Kev. I just actually came on Facebook. So I missed you guys right at 6 o'clock, but welcome to the show. I just briefly told everyone what "Oh Comes the Dawn" means. It's just the dawning of a new day. And what dawned on you today? What new thing have you thought about? Have you figured out? All that good stuff. This is my co-host Cam. Isn't he cute? Look at him. Look at him. But ladies, he's taken. Don't try and get him, okay? For those of you who can't see him, he's a handsome man, but he's taken. So, hands off, right? So, back to our subject for today. Our subject for today is social media. Are you ready for it? For the responsibility that comes with it, for the pressure that comes with it, for all the things social media. Are you ready to post all the time? Because some people are really good at it. Are you ready to post all the time? Are you ready for the criticism? Are you ready for the heartache, the frustration, all the stuff that comes along with social media? Are you ready for it? So, Kev, do you have anything to start us off talking about it?
Well, as far as for me, I'm not ready for the whole social media thing. I mean, you did say I was taken. I'm close to 15 years of marriage.
Whoop
So
whoop.
with that, I didn't want to get on social media and be accessible to too many individuals because in my younger years I wasn't. But as far as for that, I got to get ready for it. I know it's a necessary evil, just to get out to the mass of people who I want to come check out our content and come see us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think that's the thing too, like understanding how much the world needs social media at this point, like um just how geared we are towards focusing on our businesses with social media, our relationships with social media. I mean, heck, we got a phone in our hands every time we look around. I have seen people sitting at the table with each other, texting each other, or ignoring each other, looking for different things to not talk to each other. Ain't that crazy?
yeah, it's crazy because I don't understand how people would sit there and ask you a question about something you may not know, and I'd be like, "You got a smartphone in your hand.
Right?
Why are you asking me?"
Why you got a smartphone and you dumb?
Yeah, basically asking foolish questions with a smartphone in your hand.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of frustrating to now try and have relationships with people because social media, and I'll just say technology in general. Technology in general has really taken over our lives. I mean, look at how we're doing these classes. We're doing these classes, and I'm bashing social media, talking on social media. That's funny, but in all actuality, when you think about it, everything has its pros and cons. And so, on one hand, like Facebook, I absolutely love Facebook because I'm able to connect with so many people I met over the years and like from past jobs and just past experiences, school and everything. Like Cleveland School of Arts, we are everywhere on social media. We got all kinds of different pages for the different arts and the different things we're doing and connecting with them. So it's kind of cool to be able to have access to people but not have full access. But the things that come along with that also kind of suck.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, when I think about the fact that I can connect to somebody and I could know a lot of their business without them even having to tell me, like people are telling people's business, people are really dealing with social media in a very negative light instead of it being positive. And I think that's the part that worries me. Like, are we really ready for all that it comes with?
Yeah, the exposure of it. That's what I worry about as far as giving people that true access to me. because they may, like you just saying, may try and use it against you in a negative way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you do have good individuals out there that you do need to reach that they may help you as well as you helping them when it comes to the social media stuff. So it's just the Facebook thing is, like I said, it's scary to me. I mean, until now, kind of need it now, but I always just heard bad stories when it came to Facebook, and that was just from my friends though.
See,
So
I've always had really good experiences with Facebook, but I have to admit, I'm a little bit of a bully when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I in life, I'm kind of a bully, and not like just a mean person, but I am a person who's really firm about not taking no mess.
defend your message.
Yeah, I will tell you very quickly with no problem what I will deal with and what I won't. And so, like, I've never had anybody disrespect me on my page. I've never had anybody come in and kind of call me out on my page. And so it's kind of been all right for me. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's having all these bad experiences, and I'm like, oh, I'm fine, you know.
Well, I'm sort of an introvert too, which is crazy. I'm an introvert in some ways, but I love talking to people. How crazy does that sound?
Yeah, listen, I learned the word for that. It's called an ambivert.
As an ambivert.
Yeah, an ambivert is a person who has these extrovert tendencies, but at some point they need to shut down like an introvert. Because I'm definitely an ambivert. I know you guys see me on social media and you see me behind. I'm a freaking radio personality, you know. So I know you can hear me on the radio and you're like, well, how could you possibly be an introvert? But when I'm not singing, when I'm not on the radio, when I'm not doing all this extra stuff, I want silence.
You need space.
Yes,
It's a
I
safe
need my
space.
space. And my kids hate it, especially my daughter. Oh, she wants so much attention, and I can't process all that. Like, why are you talking so much? I need you to talk just a little bit. Like, I gave you 5 minutes of my time. Can I have 30? You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's too much. But I want to go ahead and introduce our guest for today. Our guest for today is John Robinson. I'm sorry, I gave you a whole government. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, ah, one more time.
It's J
Let's
Rob.
try this mic. You
J
know,
J Rob. It's J
J
Rob.
Rob. There
J
we
Rob.
go. That's J Rob. we're gonna we're gonna let J Rob come on and introduce himself, and then we're gonna try and I'm just learning this microphone. I'm learning how to do all this interesting stuff. So don't judge me too much, you guys. So
We all good. We all here to help each other. This,
hey, you guys can see J Rob.
my microphone's in the way a little bit. My microphone's in the way a little bit. But how's everyone doing this evening?
We're good since they can't quite talk back to you, but we're doing good. So we wanted J Rob to come into the conversation today. So J Rob, how do you feel about social media? Like, is it taking over? How are you adapting to it?
Uh, well, those are two different things to touch on. I'm gonna touch on the first one. The way I feel about it. Well, to be honest, over the course of time, my opinion of it has changed a little bit. I still feel the same way as far as it taking away a lot of people's privacy, and it takes away a lot of things that people really would like to keep out of the public's eye.
Yeah, yeah,
But at the same time, I say my way about it has changed a little over the course of time because I deal with things and I'm in a field that causes me to adapt to the social media. I never had it. I never really had an Instagram page before or any of those things. I've dibbled and dabbled before just to see what things were about, but that side of things never really interested me. For me, it always felt like it was a distraction. It was made to distract you from what's really going on. But it's a lot of different things people use it for. They use it for promoting themselves. A lot of people use it for businesses and money, and to create money avenues for themselves and all different types of things. So that's why I say my mindset has changed a little bit over the course of time. But as far as I feel as far as it taking over or being in control with a lot of things, I definitely still feel the same about that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's taken over. It's taken over to the point where I know that my children are going to be glued to their phones. They're going to be glued to phones, glued to tablets, glued to TVs, and it's to the point where I know growing up I envied the people who had like cable because I never had cable,
Yeah.
but but now you don't even have to have cable because kids are so involved in YouTube and TikTok and all those things. You don't even have to pay for cable anymore, and those things are free. So it kind of works out. It's
Yeah.
a benefit in that sense, you know. But one of the things that made me pick this topic, and I'm sure some people are pretty well informed about this. There have been all kinds of memes and everything talking about Derek Jackson. So I know a lot of you are probably familiar with Mr. Derek Jackson. Derek Jackson is the relationship guy. He was the guy who was telling everybody about their bad men. And he was the one who was telling everybody about how to treat their woman and about cheating and all that good stuff. And then what did he do? He came out as a cheater. How great is that for the win? No. But then he tried to get on social media and apologize because it was messing with his money. Because honestly, I don't think if it would have come out, I don't think he actually would have said anything. So it came out, he had to confess and he had to talk about it, and he brought his wife on. And so his wife got on there and everybody talked about her. Everybody talked about how she looked. They talked about her whole presentation. And so then she felt attacked. So she decided to go and do all these videos. She did all these videos trying to talk about the whole armor of God, and she said the helmet of salvation and the breastplate of righteousness, and she's talking about all this biblical stuff because I guess she's trying to show people that she has God on her side, which is beautiful. I think it's very important to understand that God is on your side. You know, if you are going through something, I think it's really important to understand that you do have someone to go to. You can pray and you can get through it because that's a hard situation to for someone to cheat on you. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think she was ready to handle the mass hateration. And I say, I know that's not a word, but I don't think she was prepared. I don't think she was prepared to handle all the people who were going to talk about just how she looked. I mean, I can't imagine. Like even now, I'm doing this podcast right now, and I have on lipstick. Can you even see my lipstick? No one can see my lipstick. Especially people who are on North Coast right now, you can't even see my lipstick. But I have on lipstick, and I slick my hair back, and you know I'm trying to wear clothes that are presentable, and I'm trying to present myself a certain way because I don't want to be talked about. I mean, come on. I who wants to be talked about?
Nobody.
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 Now you
Or
said
talked
that.
about in the wrong way, should I say?
Yes.
Now you don't think he would have got caught? I mean, consider we talking about social media and stuff right now. If we wasn't in this age, how old are you, John? Let me ask
Uh,
by the way.
my 37, which
Okay.
came way too fast for
So,
me.
well, I'm just saying that because we really didn't grow up with too much social media. I think in this age, I don't know if he would have outed himself if it wouldn't have came out,
How
like you were
about
saying.
that?
That's what I
That's
wonder
what I'm
about
saying.
that. So it's the crazy thing is if we wasn't in these times, would he have done it? I mean, the self-love ambassador is what he called himself.
Is that what he calls himself?
Self-love ambassador, yeah. But
Self-loving bastard?
yeah,
What does that even
I
mean?
The
don't know.
self-love ambassador or
Yeah,
self-loving bastard?
Self-love
ambassador.
ambassador. I
Oh,
thought
okay,
you
Self-love
said
okay.
bastard.
ambassador. Oh no, ambassador.
The self-love
I know it's
bastard.
underground, but I ain't trying
Oh,
to be.
that is
I'm
hilarious.
about to say,
Okay.
whoa.
Self-love ambassador.
Self-love ambassador. That
And
makes so much more sense.
you know, and
Okay.
I understand where his wife was coming from because in a sense, she was a victim, but then she was being attacked by the public, so
Yeah.
she became a double victim
Yeah.
almost,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
not fair to her because he was only trying to do the right thing by apologizing to his wife, even though he had her there. But the public, that's the dangers of social media, how people just immediately twist it around. It can become something else real fast.
Yeah. And that's I think about so many celebrity couples who were seemingly okay until they were exposed to social media and how maybe that and actually broke their marriages up, broke their relationships up,
Yeah.
because you here you are, and oh, the reality stars. I mean,
Most of those thrive off of it. I'm just that's asking
yeah,
this age
that's
because
true.
the older
That's
ones
true.
they're not into it. So as the stuff hit the social media, it's more of a shock to them. So like you said, a lot of these older couples, they when they hit social media and they
I
business
don't
get
even know
out
if it's
there,
older
it's
anymore.
not necessarily older, but just being not used to it. Like the 35 or younger, you're 35, right? Not
I'll
used
take
to having
35.
computers in your life, basically.
I'll take
Well, I'm
35.
sorry, you're 21. My bad,
Oh,
she's
oh,
21.
so much better. So
But
much
I was
better.
just saying that, being 35 plus, we really didn't have computers accessible to us until we were in our 20s.
Yeah,
So
true.
most people now who are probably 30 or younger, they always was able to get with the times of social media.
Yeah.
So they can thrive with that. I'm just saying, as far as older couples, they don't know how to use the social media when
Oh,
their business hit like that. So they
yeah.
implode,
Well,
basically.
at this point, I mean, the world made us. It became like, especially with COVID, and us being in the house and not being able to have contact with each other, that really made everybody reach out to social media. People who didn't even want to touch a computer.
Yeah.
Now in order to feel contact with the rest of the world, you have to be you have to work on your computer. You
Yeah.
have to learn how to be on Teams. How hard was
Skype,
Teams?
Zoom, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, when we initially started school, we were on what were we on? What was it called?
Ring Central.
Ring
Ring
Central.
Central. Yes. So we were on this thing called Ring Central at first, and then they converted to Microsoft Teams, and I mean, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I was so
We actually
frustrated.
lost a day of class, maybe a day and a
Just
half,
a day,
a day and a
yeah.
half of class of
Just
trying to
trying to
get
get,
everybody in one,
yeah.
one
Oh my
room.
gosh. Like everybody was in different rooms, and it was crazy. I hated Ring Central. I mean, I hated Microsoft Teams. Now I love it
Yeah.
because now I can communicate with everybody and it connects to my computer, all efficient and all that stuff. But initially, I hated it.
Yeah.
I wanted to complain. Like I think I did complain on one of the
Yeah.
one of the surveys. Like, why do we even do this?
See, for me, I'm new to that in the sense of the Zooming and stuff, so it didn't
Yes.
really affect me like that. But if you had before, I can understand the frustration of going from one to another, middle of everything.
Yeah.
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 it,
I
it
mean,
it does make things you know pretty convenient in a lot of different situations. But at the same time, it just feel like, especially with, like you said, the pandemic going on and everything, and people having to be at home sometimes, things like that. I think sometimes it kind of I'm trying to figure out how to put this. It kind of takes away some of your drive. You've been at home. Like some days I'll be at home sitting all day on in class at home, and then come 2 o'clock after I'm out of class and everything, I've been sitting around so long and snacking and eating for the day and doing work. I don't really feel like coming out the house then, for real. I gotta pump myself up to get
yeah.
up out the house. I'm
Yeah.
I'm used to getting up early and getting going and then being out the house for the day. Once I'm still sitting there marinating, I look up 2, 3 o'clock. I don't really feel like doing much.
Yeah, yeah, I have to admit, now I've gotten so accustomed to the house. Don't get me wrong, I was always a homebody, but at this point, I've gotten so accustomed to the house. It's like I don't have to leave. I mean,
Hmm.
DoorDash has become my friend. Instacart has become
Is
my
that grocery?
friend.
I was about to say you can
Yes,
do groceries, you can do whatever. So I
yes.
never did Instacart. That's new to me.
Oh
So,
yeah, try Instacart. Oh, my friend likes to do the one oh Target pickup
Target that.
where you can just order it and then you go and you don't even have to get out your car. They just put it in your trunk.
I did
I'm
that
like,
before.
what? That sounds so lazy.
Yeah.
Like
Walmart does it now. Yeah.
Walmart does it, like all these oh, you can pick up your food, you can pick up everything. And then I'm even to the point where I just order from Amazon
Yeah.
because I want it brought to my door. That's how lazy it is.
Unless I
I
need it
don't
right now, I do the Amazon also.
right? I mean, at this point, I don't even want to do some of the things that I wanted to do. I have to push myself in order to get out of the house. Like social media, it connects you to everybody and everything now. Like you look around and you're trying to figure out, okay, so who am I going to talk to? You can literally talk to anybody at this point.
Anybody. anybody. You can
Across
go
the world.
I was just about to say
across the world. So speaking of across the world, so the way I connected with my nephew, I have a nephew who lives in Germany, and the way I connected was through Facebook. How crazy is that?
Wow.
Yeah, like I couldn't figure out his number because my brother passed away, and so I didn't have any contact information. But the way I contacted my nephew was through Facebook. So I mean, it has pros and cons, but the cons are the ones that are really affecting us at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the pros are great, building your business, building your brand,
Finding relatives.
finding
That's
relatives.
beautiful.
Yeah, right.
You want to come on in some more, Lisa? You kind of
Oh, so
it's supposed
it's okay. They
it's
know
your
that.
show. It's supposed to be mostly on you, love.
It's okay. Facebook knows who I am. They got my
Okay.
picture all on there. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing to be able to connect with your family. And I mean, my nephew's like in his 20s, his early 20s, like 25, 20. Yeah, he'll be 26
Oh
next year.
man.
Yeah, and so to be able to connect with him and see how he's doing, that's been beautiful.
Yeah.
And like even my parents are on social media at this point. They're watching, hi mommy, hi daddy.
Hello.
They're actually watching and listening. And so all my people on North Coast Underground, hey there. I don't want to forget you. I am always appreciative of the opportunities that people give me. And just you tuning in right now is a beautiful thing. And I thank you. So we're going to keep on talking about this social media situation. And I just want to address how it feels to be a plus size person. I know you guys are not plus size.
Go ahead, John. What you mean? I'm 250 pounds. You speak for
So, for those of
yourself.
you who cannot see Kevin,
Six foot one,
those who
250.
can't see Kev, I mean,
Oh
so
man.
he doesn't look 250 pounds, and he's like 6'12". So 250 pounds
I had
looks
a hard
totally
time
different
buying shirts and
on
stuff like
somebody
that.
7 feet tall. But I mean, okay, so we're all shaped differently. How about that?
Yeah. Beauty of individuality.
Yes, the beauty of individuality, unless you are in the minority. And there is so much pressure. There's always been pressure to be so beautiful, so called, what, and there are all these different types of beauty,
Mm-hmm.
all these different people who have a voice in saying what's beautiful versus what's not. The one thing I do love, I have a friend on Facebook, and he is constantly posting these artistic pictures of different. You can be white, black, Puerto Rican, you can be the darkest of dark, the lightest of light, but everybody is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to see that. I love to embrace that. You can be heavy set, you can be skinny, you can be it. Now, a quick question: is it politically correct to say skinny and not thin? Like, what's the politically correct word? Because I don't
I,
like, for I just said heavy set. Or we say thick. We have all these different terms for like BBW.
But then that depends on how the individual you saying that takes it. Because I can say, you look fit, you look good, you look fit.
Yeah.
You know,
So you
but
would
it
just,
depends on how they take it. Though most people be like, "What you mean I look fit?"
but
Or like you
fit
saying, "You
is
skinny."
nice.
What you mean I'm skinny? I ain't eating enough. I don't
Yeah,
know.
see, that's what I'm saying.
Falling
So
off.
so Mr. Mr. J Rob,
yes.
so you are thin. What thinner than me.
She cleaned it. She tried. Hey, let that be noted. She tried to clean it up, folks.
So you are thinner than me.
About
I'm just trying to see like what's politically correct, because I don't want to say, do you respond more to you're thin or you're fit, or like what's your good word?
well, that's really a first of all, that's a good question. To be honest, I've really never been asked that. Uh, because I'm kind of been, I'm been basically this size all my life. I've tried to get a little bit thicker here and there. Um, I've had to get thicker here and there a little bit.
Wait, can we
Through,
pause? Can we pause? Because you said you had to try and get thicker.
I try.
Listen, I've never had that problem.
I was sitting here thinking
I
that
have
too. Like,
listen.
Yeah.
never had.
I have high metabolism, very high metabolism. So when people say I'm slim or they say, "Oh, you or you skinny," I say, "No, it's not that." I say it's just I just have very little body fat. It's just all muscle. That's what I say.
You say it's
But
all muscle. Yeah, I like that. That's
that's
right. So
that's my way of putting
would you
it.
prefer being called muscular or fit?
To me, it really to me it really doesn't make a difference. I mean, you know, one thing I take in consideration when people say things or people use certain words, as long as it's not disrespectful or degrading
Yeah.
or it doesn't feel like it's coming that way to me. I don't really feed into it too much or take it a certain way because I have to remember who all these words that we use and everything, um, who really actually knows what's actually politically correct,
I know.
or who actually knows what's the type of term that's supposed to be applied to certain people or certain things. All we know is the words that we've been using for however long we've been using. Now,
True.
now unless you go do some true research and see what every word means and see what it used to
Right?
be and see how it was created, then you never really know what's actually the proper word to be using. All you know is how to not be disrespectful or not be degrading. That's
See,
that's that's the only way I could put it.
I do think that's important because I think of that's another thing that kind of comes up in social media. Like, what am I allowed to say at this point? Because at
Yeah.
this point it feels like everything is censored and everything is hurting someone's feelings. You can't even be who you are because it might offend the person that someone else is. And I want to be able to speak freely, and I want to be able to speak. I try and speak in love anyway.
Yeah.
This is
You
the
know,
emotional generation. That's what
oh my
people got
goodness,
to
they're
remember, man.
so
This is
emotional. Listen.
what happened to the
That's
thick skin?
that's the new social media age. Because I'm old school. I show up
Yeah,
at your door. We gonna
yeah,
we gonna get it together like men though. We gonna talk. You know what I'm saying? We gonna
right.
I'm not gonna Twitter finger you and be like,
I'm
oh
not
no,
gonna Twitter
I'm,
finger
I'm,
you.
I'm gonna come to your door. And that's where social media took that away. The personal interaction every day with people. It makes it easier for people to reach out on a social media device. Now, when you send something, that other person may not take it how you send it. That's why I
Yeah,
prefer to come to somebody's door so I
yeah.
can see. You can see my face now. You
Right,
can see how I'm
right.
feeling about this. So.
That sounds intimidating, though. I prefer to come to your door.
Man to man, I don't mean
Yeah,
like that. I don't mean no
I'm gonna
harm.
come to your
I
door.
don't mean no harm. But that's so it just took the personal touch out of just being the person, the personality.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
I, I, I'm glad you don't mean it in a bad way, because that was a little intimidating at first. Like, I'm not gonna ask no questions. I'm coming through your door. I'm not gonna Twitter you. I'm not gonna Twitter you. It's tweet.
Tweet.
We
I'm
gotta
not
use
what
the
they call them
proper
Twitter
word.
fingers. So you
Twitter
got your
fingers.
Twitter fingers going.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's what it
yeah.
is.
Yeah. So I mean, if I think that's the point. Like when you talk to people, talk with respect. And at this point, everybody has these. They have big mouths, and I don't know how to. They can't back it up. Everybody wants to say something on social media. They want to have their say so, and they want
Yeah.
to they want to be able to talk big and bad. But that's why you got so many in this generation that are using guns rather than their fists, because at this point you need to learn how to communicate. You need to learn and communicate effectively. If you're on social media and you're communicating, then we might already have a breakdown. Because I hate when someone texts me or when someone instead of calling me. Yeah.
Hmm.
Text and don't just call me, because if I take this the wrong way, then we're gonna go all the way left. And I want to keep I want to keep things right, and I want to make sure that we have a clear understanding. So do not text me. Do not message me unless you're gonna come correct. Because if you say the wrong thing, then we're fighting through text message, and that's
Hmm.
so immature.
Hmm.
And then a lot of times, I'm gonna tell you this. Um, I think a lot of times people don't bother me on social media because I will clap back in a respectful way, but I will clap back if you have something to say to me, because I'm very respectful to everyone. So if you come at me the wrong way, then please expect and understand that I'm going to check it. And I guess that's what you were saying
Yeah,
anyway.
but if they
You
have any
know,
respect for themselves, they take how you're coming at them with respect, and the
yeah,
relationship grows. That's what I'm
yes,
saying. Now
yes,
we're
Exactly.
face to face, though.
yes.
That's why the Twitter finger things, the tweeting, it
The
just
tweeting.
I
But see,
can't.
everyone wasn't taught those skills or haven't had a chance to be around people to help them develop those skills.
True,
You
true.
know, so when a certain situation comes, all they know is how to react,
Through
how
social media.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
or
that's why
yeah,
I asked you your
yeah,
age, because
yeah,
that's
or
what,
how they been acting. Yeah,
being a little older, that's what we was told. You shake them hand, look them in the eye.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Stand up, put your chest out. You know what I'm saying? Let them know you here just as well as them being there. Give each other that respect. And now it's so easy to feel disrespected through a device.
Yes.
And
It's
then they
crazy.
and then they forget, and then people. I'm not gonna just say guys. I'm gonna say little young brothers or whatever you want to call it. I'm saying people. Period. You forget. Um, this is also a platform that automatically makes you a target if
Oh
you
yeah.
if you're sending out the wrong message or you're on it for the wrong reasons. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important for people to understand the responsibility of it too. If you're gonna be on social media, you have a responsibility, and
Yeah.
if you don't live up to that responsibility, people gonna check you.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have access to you. Before, in certain scenarios, you could say a whole bunch of stuff and no one could say anything to you. It would just be like, oh, well, she said it and it is what it is. And now, oh, soon as somebody say something, somebody making a meme. Or soon as somebody say something, somebody is tweeting something, somebody is Instagramming something, somebody is Facebooking something. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I mean, just think about just, Derek's wife, she became a meme. What I say, man, Murder? She became a meme, even though she was a victim. It's just crazy how just it could turn on
Yeah, but
you.
okay, so here's my thing. She wasn't ready. Like,
What, because
I
she was sitting there with a bonnet on, or
no,
she
what I
was?
mean is she was she wasn't ready for the judgment. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be ready for the judgment when you step on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And then she felt attacked and she was trying to bite back, but she was losing. She's lost. Like, to the point where people were like, just shh, baby, shh, be quiet.
The internet is petty.
The
Internet is
internet
petty.
is so petty. Oh, it's hilariously petty sometimes, though.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so petty. But going back to what you said about the respect and shaking people's hands and looking at
Showing them
people.
at the door.
Yeah,
Coming to your door.
there you go with the door again. But looking at people in their eyes. So we were in the car today, and my son asked me. He says, "Mom, why won't they let me wear my hoodie in school?" And I said it's because it's disrespectful. It's showing them that you don't care. It's showing them that you're not paying attention. You could be hiding something under your hoodie. You could be trying to sleep under your hoodie. It
Oh,
covers your,
having it up.
yeah, having it
Okay,
up.
okay.
He
I was
wanted.
saying, I thought you said he can't
Oh,
physically
no, no,
wear
no,
it
no,
to
no,
school, but
no,
having the
no.
hood up. Okay,
It
okay.
was. I was charging
That's
him
what I'm
up.
looking like. I'm looking like he can't wear. I bought this. What you mean my child can't wear this? Yeah, okay, I understand.
You were getting all charged up. No, he couldn't. He can't wear the hood.
Yeah,
There we
yeah.
go. Not the hoodie, the hood. So I'm like, because it's disrespectful. When you wear this hood, it's like a covering. Every time we've seen somebody wear a hood, it's been like, well, I think about robberies and I think about somebody trying to sneak and hide something. And don't get me wrong, I get it when it's cold outside. It was 70 degrees outside. Why do you, and you're indoors. So why do you have a hoodie on if you're not trying to go to sleep? If you're not trying to hide some in your ears? Because them headphones shouldn't be in your ears,
Yeah.
right? So in school, why do you even need the stupid hoodie? But that is something that, and I won't even say this generation, I will say society now, because there's so many things that people who are my age and up, and I am not 21, y'all already know that. So
What's
I
the
am
ride with it?
I am 38 years old, but I want to say my age because it's people who are my age and older who are falling into the same categories as these kids.
I
They're
mean, hey, oh no, my fault. Look, I didn't
no,
mean.
no,
I
no,
was
go
just
ahead.
no, I was just agreeing. But I was just saying, you saying they fall into the same category as the kids and stuff, doing the certain things. I'm gonna say something that, and some folks might not like this, but you got to understand certain certain type of energy move around. You know, if you someone that if you got a kid like my son is 14. Okay, he listens to certain things. I listen to certain things. There's a few things that I might listen to with him might be alright to me, but for the most part, man, I just feel like okay, I'm 37 years old. I can't possibly listen to the same thing every day that my son listens to
Right.
who's 14 years old. Now he listen to some of the stuff I listen to because it give him a big broad insight. I mean,
Well,
look
that
on
was his
things.
foundation of music, which coming from you.
Yeah, yeah, but so you see that stuff could rub off. I mean, you ride around, listen to the same thing your kid listen to. So sometimes you start to see certain traits that still carry in you, that's
Right.
carried in you and your kids. If I said that right, but
No, I understand what
even
you're
though I feel
saying.
we all have some, still always have growing up to do because there's always room for improvement. The growth never stops. But I'm just saying on certain levels, certain things should be done certain ways.
But
Yeah.
just certain people get to our age, being late 30s, early 40s. Some people don't want to let things go. They still want to be in their 20s, trying to live off their good years in that sense. Also,
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
still
still
feel
feel
like I'm in my
20,
20s,
but
but
I don't mean I want to go
I
to the
don't
clubs Friday, Saturday,
I
and
don't want to
Sunday.
do this.
I don't want to just be out hanging out every day. It's just
But
some
do
things
your
you gotta let
knees
go.
feel 20? Like my knees tell me every day that I
Uh-huh.
am not 20 years
When
old.
I'm fading out at 9, 10 o'clock every night, now I realize like, damn, I can't stay woke.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so speaking of what you were just talking about, riding in the car with your kids. So I was riding in the car earlier, and every once in a while, because my kids are connected to my YouTube, every once in a while I'll play the songs that they've been playing
Hmm.
to kind of see what the content is, and I'll do it while they're in the car. And so it was crazy because we were listening to this artist called Moray, and so that song was a little edgy, and then and then there was another song called Sesame Street, and I was like, oh, this should be okay. And so I started to play it, and they were like, no, no, no. They were like, no, mom, you can't play that. No, you have a little one in the car. Now my kids are 14, 11, and 8, and talking about my 8-year-old was the little one in the car. So I'm like, okay, so what have you been listening to that your mom can't listen to? I'm like, so at that point, I'm like, you got to really check this. If you're listening to the stuff that's on the same level as the kids, and don't get me wrong, for the most part, I'm really kind of at this point I'm a little more liberal because I
Mhm.
realize that I grew up in the church, and so but I also listen to hip hop. I
Mhm.
listen to Tupac. I listen to Biggie. I listen to all kinds of artists. I listen to Jodeci. Yeah, I listen to stuff that was not church at all. So I had to have a little leeway with my kids, but I also want to make sure that they're not listening to kill, 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 murder, murder, murder.
It's not that really in the music anymore. It's all about drugs and hanging out,
Oh my
kicking it out.
gosh.
It's just all about
That's what
brain.
it's
It's
about
No,
just
now.
it's about killing.
it's the
It's
brainwashing now,
well,
man. It's a
you gotta
brainwashing
you gotta
mechanism, man.
remember. I sit in recording
Oh
studios all the
well,
time with
yeah,
rappers of
Well,
today.
I sit there with my brother's friend, but they're a little older, so it's not really,
No,
But
these
yeah,
these are early 20s,
yeah,
like mid 20s, and when I tell you all they talk about is sex, guns, and drugs. And I always
sex, money,
and
murder.
yeah, I always thought that was like cliche, but it's real.
That's
Like
all
they
the labels
really
gonna take on right now, though. That's all the labels gonna take on right now, though.
and that's so sad. But I guess that's what they've always been talking about. Like when I when I think about the hip hop songs we listen to, that's what they talked about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
I mean, you have
the '80s
fun
was the
stuff.
best. That was the '80s.
Yeah.
Because come early '90s, that's when they switched everything as far as
Yeah.
how they was promoting
They sure did.
us.
Yes.
They had
You
a
True.
know,
they had a big meeting about it and everything.
because
Did they?
That's a whole nother
yeah,
story,
That's a
though.
whole
I
nother.
might rub
You know
folks the
about the
wrong way,
meeting?
man. I'm
Yeah,
gonna leave it
yeah.
alone, man. Yeah.
You're right though. They had a meeting about how they
It's
was going to market when it came to hip hop. Because think about it, in the '80s, you had EPMD. You had uh, basically a lot of hip hop artists who were bringing messages.
Okay.
They were
Yeah.
bringing a message. I
Yeah.
mean, because think about "Don't push me, cause I'm
So they
close."
got rid of all the conscious
Now it's
tracks
just like
now.
I'm coming bang, but like you
Yeah.
said, it's different. But
Yeah.
then it was a message. You had to listen to it to get the message. I'm close to there.
Yeah.
I'm not there, but now they tell you I'm there. What's up? I
But
want that smoke.
I think one thing that was different also is that I felt like the rappers before were telling you what they were going through and how they didn't want to be a part of it anymore. Now they glorify it. They're like, I'm killing everybody, murdering your mama, murdering your kids,
Babysitter.
the babysitter, your grandma, where your grandma,
Yeah,
like
You don't want to see the light of day.
I
Man.
know, and that's the sad part. Like I always want to promote hope. So like when I'm sitting in a studio and I can hear these young guys talking about popping pills and about their families and about doing stuff to other people, it's so sad.
Yeah.
And then you watch their social medias and they post these videos and the videos got them holding all this money now. They can barely pay for studio time. But they but they got a stack of money and they're pushing the money all the way around and they got these fancy cars. I don't know where they get the fancy cars from. I guess you can rent it, but rent it for the video. But then I look at all of that stuff that they do and I'm like, poor baby. Like what's your future look like?
I look at it differently. I look at it and be like, where's your parents at?
Oh,
I have a
listen.
27-year-old, a 21-year-old,
Mhm.
and a 12-year-old.
Uh-huh.
So you early 20s, that's being a parent of an early 20, it's like, what were they into? They didn't want that. Because I can understand, as a kid, I was a
Yeah.
ruffian. I got in trouble. I done did some things. But as I got older and learning and becoming a responsible person with kids, I wanted them to see different.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. But I mean, like you said, at this point, okay, so I kind of, I am what I am, so I'm gonna have my biblical basis, even if I'm just not. I'm not. I don't have to preach Jesus, 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 in order to just tell my truth. And so, like the word talks about train up a child in the way that they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart. So we have to think about they're in there. Oh, look at you! See, so we have to think about it. They have a process just like we did. The only thing that worries me is them getting to it too late. And I mean, I know God knows, but you always worry about your child getting there too late. Like I would rather you understand it at 12 than have to learn it at 35. That's what every parent wants. Every parent wants for their child to understand it right now. Don't don't
Mhm.
don't have to learn it 30 years down the line, 40 years down the line. I didn't realize until I got older how many ignorant old people there are.
Oh my goodness. Can I say this real quick? I had to say this, and don't get me wrong. I love and respect all all my elders because I look at them. When I look at them, I see my grandmother or my grandfather. But I'm
Mhm.
just saying, maybe they may not even be as old as them. But as far as maybe over 40s, in your late 40s, going into your 50s and 60s, some brothers really act like they are old fools instead of being from the old school. And that's just being honest.
Yeah, yeah. I, I look at older people, and I have a lot of wonderful older people in my life. I have to admit it. I have been very blessed to have a whole bunch of people who have affected me and who have kind of kept me in the straight and narrow. But then I see some people, and I'm like, what happened to you? Like, how did you miss that lesson? And how did you end up being in your 50s and 60s and still be selfish
Yeah.
and still not love yourself? Like when you can look on social media and see an older person posting pictures of themselves half naked, and you see pictures of them, not pictures, but when you see posts
Mhm.
of them talking like one of these 20-year-olds, and I got a and I know it was fake, but it was funny. I got a friend request the other day from a sugar mama. She wanted to be my sugar mama, and that thing cracked me up so bad. She said, "Sugar mama looking for a sugar baby," and I laughed so hard. But it's really people out here like that who are really looking. I say just looking for love.
Yeah.
And that's really where it boils down to. You looking for love in order to love yourself and to love others. And the basis of all of it. If you dealt with the right people who weren't gonna use you, who was just gonna love you for who you are, how many jacked up people have you had to deal with that you are still broken at 60?
And you need likes so
Right.
you can like yourself.
Yes.
Right.
Like
Right.
some people are so upset because Instagram took away their likes. Like you can't tell how many people like.
Likes it.
Yeah, and Instagram said that it was a mistake, but the fact that people need to see how many people love me today because they're not feeling likes, they feeling love. They like, oh my goodness, they love what I look like. And in all actuality, sometimes people are looking at you and they're laughing and they're liking your page because they're laughing. And that's not to dog anybody. I don't want anybody to feel any kind of way, but I do want us to be very careful about the content that we're putting out there because we're representing ourselves.
Mhm.
Like I have a t-shirt that says the internet never forgets. And I wear it at least once a week and I wear it in public on purpose because I want you to know once you put it on the World Wide Web, like people don't remember www no more. Like www means World Wide Web. So
Mm.
once you put something out there, it is literally there for everybody to see. It's there forever because even if you kept it up for 10 seconds, a million people could have seen it in the 10 seconds. And I know a whole bunch of people who do screenshots.
I was gonna say they try and put things up and take them out. They
Listen,
screenshot it immediately.
screenshot it immediately. And then you're looking around. And this is what's even worse. It's one thing for it to be the person who is like a random fan or a random person who's just on your friends list, but now we've gotten to the point where businesses are even
Yeah.
getting on there, like all these media outlets are even getting on there so they can catch you slipping. Like we've gotten to a place where social media is really petty. Like it can be used, the powers for good, but they're used for evil. Like it's an opportunity to show people how awesome you are and an opportunity to really share the great things about yourself, share your talents. Like I do some of everything and I want to share my gift with other people, but at the end of the day, who's going to receive my gift and how are they going to receive my gift?
Who deserves?
Yeah.
Who deserves?
Yeah.
And like one thing that stopped me from doing like my YouTube page and posting live on Facebook before is because I was always trying to figure out what my hair looked like. Like if I get on social media and people are looking at me, okay, what are they thinking? They're not thinking. Sometimes they're not thinking about my content. They're thinking about what I look like.
Yeah.
They're looking at my lips. They're looking at my eyebrows. They're looking at my nose. If if I got on the wrong type of clothes, they're looking at that. Hey, yeah. If they're looking at all kinds of things. Sorry, you guys. For those who you guys aren't even in the studio, so someone was going by waving. So I was just saying hi to them. But anyway, so for everybody who is nervous about social media and posting and starting your business and really getting an audience, I get you. I get you because I'm struggling with the fact that when I make my page to sing, are my notes going to come out right? Is someone going to say I'm too high, I'm too low, my voice is pitchy? Is it am I real, am I fake, am I this, am I that, am I too fat, too skinny? Well, they ain't gonna call me too skinny. They're not gonna call me too skinny.
As long as you stand in your truth, it doesn't matter.
It
That's
doesn't.
it.
In
That's it.
in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
That's it.
Stand in your truth, and those who are genuine, they're gonna gravitate to you, and that's what you want. The ones who's willing to gravitate to you are the genuines,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
because of what they see.
yeah. And that's what I love about having this show right now because I'm getting an opportunity to share my personality and share my friends with everybody. And I've been kind of excited for a long time. I can start a conversation with anybody, but this gives me an opportunity to kind of get some feedback.
Yeah.
Okay, let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how you feel about this.
All right.
J Rob.
Yes.
So,
What's going on?
so when you think about social media, do you have anything that you just want to stay away from?
Um.
Like any particular sites or any particular content?
Uh. I mean, if
Kind
you,
of hard,
yeah.
huh?
Because I don't. Because it's not that. Once again, that's a good question because I've never really sat and actually thought about, well, what wouldn't I take a look at, or what wouldn't I be interested in, or what wouldn't I engage in? I just automatically know it when when I see it or when I stumble across it. But um, as far as the social media, I just try to stay away from things that's promoting a somewhat of a negative message.
Yeah.
I can't say that I can't say that everything I always say is right or politically correct or anything like that. But most of the time when I'm saying something or doing something, I'm trying to give some type of insight or I'm trying to spread some form of knowledge itself. And a lot of the social media does a lot of different brainwashing, you know. Um uh it's the relationship between media and people. It shapes the perception of reality.
Oh, you tell it. Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many people who I respected before they got on social media, and
Yeah.
then I was like, ew, like your personality
Put
sucks.
yourself in your mouth. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, reality TV isn't social media, but I kind of put it in the same realm. And so I was watching. I won't even say any names, but like, yeah, I won't even say any
You
names.
know who you are
You
when you hear the message.
when you hear the message. But there are actually a few people who, when I saw them on social media, I didn't like them no more. I couldn't listen to their music anymore. I couldn't watch their show anymore. I just was like, ew, that's you in real life. Like it social media will reveal the real you, and sometimes you suck, people.
See, I'm the type I may still follow just to see what maybe I shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Watch this train wreck and see
You
what
know
I
they
might.
say you can learn a lot from a dummy. They say that.
Listen, I used to tell my kids all the time, like, you could learn something from a drunk man. If a drunk man tells you not to drink, look at his life
Yeah.
and listen.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? like pay attention.
Hear the message, but pay attention to what you see.
Yeah, like he telling you not to drink. Look at his life. There's a reason for that. And sometimes people do just the opposite because they want to prove that they're the head of their house, or they live their own life. Oh, you make your own decisions, but you were stupid enough to fall for the same okie doke. I said okie doke. I'm getting old
Just
for
because
real.
it's the decision that you want to make, don't always make it the best decision. I'm into
Exactly.
making the best. I'm into making the better decision.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I
Well, I
I
tell
done
my
bumped my
kids,
head plenty enough times to come to that realization also though.
when
Yeah.
it comes to decision, I tell my kids, do what's right, not what's popular.
Yes.
Do what's right, not what's popular. Because sometimes a popular convention can really put you in a bind and have you somewhere you should not be.
Yep. I tell my kids two things. I repeat after my father. My father always tells us, do it right, and get it over with.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother always taught me to treat others the way you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And if you live by those two things, then you have honor, you have integrity, you have purpose, and you don't have to look over your shoulder because you've already established that you are a person that people can trust, that people can really have faith in, that they can depend on you, and that you're going to always be this stand-up person, like even when people ain't watching. And that's what I tell my kids all the time. Integrity is doing what's right even when people aren't watching.
Hmm.
And on social media, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
If we really think about it, the stuff that we put on there versus stuff that sometimes gets leaked about people, if people we're doing the right thing in certain areas, you can't leak me doing something bad.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you can't leak me mistreating somebody. Now, I will say we learned a whole bunch about editing. So you can definitely edit and make somebody look like trash. But if your overall personality, like that situation with Kirk Franklin, I don't know if y'all heard about it.
Son,
Yeah, him and his
I
son.
still ain't seen it.
Well, you don't
Heard the
really,
audio.
yeah, you don't really have to hear the audio. I mean, Kirk was cussing, but at the end of the day, and I don't disregard that, but I will say that we have probably all been there with our children where they've gotten us to that point. And not to mention, I think Kirk Franklin was so honest about so many pitfalls, so many things that he wasn't great with.
He was honest about being human.
Yeah. So then people were able to receive him in a different way.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't judging him as harshly.
Genuine people.
Genuine people.
Because some people was trying to get at him.
Some people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Well,
That's true.
Probably you understand you are human. They give you that leeway.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's important. You know, to live in integrity. Live in that place where people can always look at you and see the real person you are. And I think I live my life like that. You know, people can depend on me, people can trust in me, and people can know that even if I don't know how to do it, I'm honest enough to tell you. Like, look, I don't know how we gonna get this done, but we gonna do it together. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I gotta say, I understand everything, but knows nothing.
Yeah, right. Like I heard all that stuff. No, I don't know how to do it. Yeah. You know, but we can figure it out together. You know, and I think that's an important thing when we're dealing with social media, to recognize that it's something that's made to bring us all together, not to separate us. It's something that's used in order to connect us to new people, new places, new products, new businesses, new opportunities. And if we take the time to actually reach out and see what's going on in the world, that we can actually have a better life. You know, if we allow social media to be a bad place, then it will be. But we have the control over it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys, it's only about a minute and a half before 7. And so I think what we can get from this is what dawned on me today is how important social media is to our lives. I think it's very important to remember how powerful it can be, how positive it can be, and how real it can be. So I just want to thank Kev for joining me today. He's my co-host, so you'll see him a lot more. And I'd like to thank our yes, this is his first week, but this will not be the last time. And we want to thank J. Rob for joining us tonight.
No, thank you for having me. Thank
You're
you.
very
really
welcome.
So what do you got going on, J. Rod? You got anything special going on as far as school wise?
Well, I have
to let us know what's going on or how people can reach you.
Okay, I appreciate that. Right now I just have a few demos and I have demos and uh premiere projects that has to be done to get ready for graduation. But other than me getting ready to get my material in and get everything done, if I can, I just wanted to give a shout out for everybody to be on the lookout for my YouTube page. That's EDTS, easier done than said, God Body, with brother Yahya, aka Perry Mason, because I'm always on the case. I'm always on the case for more knowledge, more self love, more improvement. Peace.
And that's our show this evening. Thank you for watching and thank you for tuning in to O Comes the Dawn. I'm Alicia, your host, and I'll see you next week.